So we're going to start off the conversation. I'm going to start with you, Ann, and then I'd love to get Emily and Mike to chime in. But this idea of the learning experience, which is the theme for our panel this morning, it used to be fairly easy to define and control. You know, when you started as an instructional designer, it was fairly easy. You could put it into the classroom, and maybe put it in e-learning, and it was pretty, you know, you had some control over that. It's not so simple anymore. In fact, hasn't been for a long time, and maybe shouldn't ever have been that simple. But what do you see as some of the factors that are driving change and innovation in learning, that are sort of the things that are, as you look ahead to the future, that you think are exciting, that are things that we need to be watching?
So I think many of you are probably experiencing the same thing, just in your everyday life and in your work life, the speed in which you were able to access content. And so for us, it's thinking about if our well, you're going to hear me say crew members. We call our employees crew members, so I cannot say employees. It's really hard. Being at Vanguard for 20 years. So one of the things we really think about for our crew is to say, how are they accessing information outside the walls of Vanguard, and what might that look like inside the walls of Vanguard? And traditionally, we were instructor-led, we were e-learning, and that is not how people are accessing content today and accessing learning. So how are we taking advantage of technologies, and how are we giving our internal crew members the same experience inside the walls of Vanguard to help them learn? So different technologies, Ken talked about the role of leaders, so I would say, how do we make sure that those experiences feel comparable? Because if they don't, they're not going to take advantage of them.
So it's the melding of these two worlds, the work world and the life outside of work. Yeah. From a learning or any technology standpoint, they're not separate things.
Right.